Don't scroll, my beloved soul, because tonight's surprise is just for you, and this message did not reach you by accident. Something powerful is moving in your energy right now. Something silent, something hidden, something your heart has been feeling but your mind could not explain. You may have been wondering why your emotions have been so heavy lately, why certain memories keep returning, why one name keeps echoing inside your heart again and again, why your soul suddenly feels restless at night as if someone is thinking about you with tears in their eyes. Listen closely, because tonight is not an ordinary night. Tonight, the universe is preparing a beautiful turn in your story. The person connected to your heart has been carrying feelings they could not speak, emotions they tried to hide, and thoughts they could not escape. They may have acted silent, distant, confused, or even cold, but deep inside, something about you never left them in peace. Your kindness, your patience, your energy, your love, your silence, your pain, everything has been speaking to their soul without words. Tonight's surprise is not just about a message, a call, or a small sign. It is about a shift. It is about a truth finally rising from the place where it was buried. It is about someone realizing that losing you was not just losing a person, it was losing peace, losing warmth, losing the one soul who truly understood them when nobody else could. My beloved soul, you have cried quietly. You have smiled in front of people while your heart was breaking inside. You have asked the universe, why me? Why did I love so deeply? Why did I care so much for someone who could not even explain their silence? But tonight, heaven is answering you in a way you did not expect. The surprise coming toward you is connected to the love you thought was delayed, the blessing you thought was denied, and the connection you thought was fading. It was not fading. It was being tested. It was being purified. It was being prepared for a moment when truth could no longer stay hidden. Someone is about to understand your value in a way they never understood before. They are seeing the difference between people who only wanted their attention and you, the one who touched their soul. They are remembering your words. They are remembering how you made them feel safe. They are remembering how your presence felt like home even when life was chaotic. And this is why tonight feels different. This is why your heart may feel a strange pull. This is why you may suddenly see signs, repeated numbers, dreams, old songs, or memories appearing out of nowhere. These are not random. These are confirmations. The universe is whispering, get ready. Something is turning in your favor. But listen carefully, my beloved soul, because this surprise is not coming because you chased it. It is coming because you survived without giving up on yourself. You kept your heart pure even when people misunderstood you. You kept loving, hoping, praying, and growing even when nobody saw your pain. You became stronger in silence. You learned to stand alone. You learned that love is not begging, love is not forcing, love is not losing yourself to keep someone close. And now, because your energy has changed, the situation around you is changing too. The person who once thought they had time is now feeling time slipping away. The person who thought your love would always wait is now afraid that your silence means you are finally moving forward. The person who once ignored your emotions is now feeling the weight of everything you never said. Tonight, their heart may become restless. Their mind may replay your last conversation. Their soul may push them to do something they have been avoiding for too long. Maybe they will reach out. Maybe they will confess. Maybe they will send a sign. Maybe the universe will show you something that proves your intuition was right all along. But whatever happens, remember this: the surprise is not only about them returning. The real surprise is that you are finally being placed back into your power. You are not the same person who waited with fear. You are not the same person who begged for clarity. You are not the same person who blamed yourself for someone else's confusion. You are becoming the version of yourself who receives love with dignity, who accepts truth without breaking, who knows that what is meant for them will not require endless pain. My beloved soul, tonight there is a door opening. Behind that door is a conversation, a realization, a blessing, or a sign that will make your heart say, "So this is why I had to wait." The delay was not punishment. The silence was not the end. The heartbreak was not wasted. Everything was preparing you for a moment when your soul would finally understand that divine timing never forgets you. So do not doubt your worth tonight. Do not sit with fear. Do not keep asking whether you are lovable. You are more loved than you know. You are more powerful than you feel. You are more protected than you can see. And the surprise coming for you is proof that your story is not over. Someone is being awakened. Someone is being guided. Someone is being reminded of you so strongly that they cannot ignore it anymore. Your name is entering their thoughts. Your energy is touching their heart. Your silence is speaking louder than your words ever did. Tonight, the universe is arranging something behind the scenes, and even if you cannot see it yet, you will feel it. You will feel a softness in your chest, a sudden peace, a sudden knowing that something has shifted. Trust that feeling. Trust the signs. Trust the timing. Because tonight's surprise is just for you, my beloved soul, and when it arrives, it will remind you that what belongs to your heart can be delayed, tested, and hidden for a while, but it cannot be stolen forever. My beloved soul, if you are still listening, then your heart was meant to hear what comes next, because the surprise that is moving toward you is becoming stronger with every passing moment. Even if your eyes cannot see it yet, your spirit already feels it. There is a reason why you could not let go completely. There is a reason why certain memories returned when you thought they were gone forever. There is a reason why your heart refused to believe that your story had ended. Sometimes the universe allows silence not to separate two souls forever but to reveal what words could never teach. During this silence, both hearts have been changing. While you were learning your worth, someone else was learning your value. While you were trying to heal your broken heart, someone else was beginning to understand the pain they created. They may not have admitted it to anyone. They may have smiled in front of the world. They may have pretended that everything was fine. But every quiet night has reminded them of you. Every moment of loneliness has carried your name into their thoughts. Every place that once felt ordinary now carries your memory. They remember your kindness. They remember your patience. They remember the way you believed in them when they could not believe in themselves. And now those memories are becoming impossible to ignore. My beloved soul, there are moments when heaven gently touches a person's heart and removes every excuse they have been hiding behind. Tonight feels like one of those moments. Someone is finally facing the truth that they have been running from. They are realizing that what they felt for you was never ordinary. It was never temporary. It was never something that could simply disappear. They tried to distract themselves. They tried to convince themselves that time would erase everything. Yet instead of forgetting you, they found themselves thinking about you more deeply than ever before. Your absence became louder than your presence had ever been. Your silence became the question they could no longer answer. And somewhere deep inside, they are wondering if they still have a chance to make things right. But my beloved soul, before anything changes outside of you, something beautiful is changing within you. The version of yourself who constantly questioned whether you were enough is slowly disappearing. You are beginning to understand that true love never asks you to become less than who you are. It never asks you to abandon your peace. It never asks you to lose your dignity. You have survived days you thought would break you forever. You have carried pain that nobody knew about. You have smiled while hiding tears that only heaven witnessed. Yet despite everything, your heart never stopped believing that something better was possible. That quiet hope inside you is not foolish. It is the light that carried you through the darkest nights. And tonight that light is shining brighter than ever. Pay attention to the little signs around you. A song that suddenly reminds you of someone. A dream that feels more real than reality itself. A repeated number that keeps appearing wherever you look. A feeling of peace that arrives without explanation. These moments may seem small, but sometimes the greatest answers arrive in the quietest ways. The universe often whispers before it speaks loudly. It prepares the heart before it changes the circumstances. So if you feel something shifting tonight, do not ignore it. Let yourself receive it without fear. Let yourself believe that good things are still possible. Let yourself imagine a future that is no longer controlled by yesterday's pain. My beloved soul, there is another truth you need to hear. The surprise waiting for you may not look exactly the way you expected. Sometimes heaven answers prayers differently because it sees what we cannot. Sometimes the blessing is not simply the return of a person but the return of your own joy. Sometimes the miracle is not only reconciliation but clarity. Sometimes the greatest gift is finally understanding who truly deserves a place in your life. Whatever happens next, you will not lose what is meant for you. If a connection is truly guided by divine timing, it will return stronger, wiser, and more honest than before. And if something no longer belongs in your journey, it will quietly make room for something even greater. Either way, your heart wins because you are no longer living from fear. You are living from faith. My beloved soul, tonight is asking you to trust one more time, not blindly, not desperately, but peacefully. Trust that every unanswered prayer has been heard. Trust that every tear has been counted. Trust that every lonely night has been preparing a brighter morning. The universe has not forgotten your name. Your story has not been abandoned. The love that is truly meant to reach you is already finding its way through closed doors, impossible situations, and silent distances. Even now, while you are reading these words, unseen pieces are moving into place. Conversations are being prepared. Hearts are being softened. Truths are rising to the surface. The path ahead is becoming clearer with every passing hour. So lift your head, my beloved soul. Breathe deeply. Release the weight you have been carrying for far too long. The chapter that taught you pain is not the chapter that defines your entire story. A new page is waiting to be written, and this time it will be written with courage, wisdom, hope, and a love that no longer asks you to shrink yourself. Tonight's surprise is not simply an event. It is a reminder that your life is still unfolding in beautiful ways, even when you cannot see the whole picture. Hold on to that truth. Protect your peace. Keep your heart open but your self-respect even stronger. The universe is not asking you to chase what is leaving. It is asking you to welcome what is finally ready to arrive. And when that moment comes, you will look back at every tear, every delay, every unanswered question, and quietly whisper to yourself, "Now I understand why I had to wait." My beloved soul, before this night comes to an end, there is one more truth your heart needs to hear. Sometimes the greatest surprise is not the moment itself, but the person you become while waiting for it. Think about everything you have survived. There were days when you believed your heart would never feel whole again. There were nights when you searched for answers that never came. There were moments when you questioned your own worth because someone else's silence felt louder than any explanation. Yet here you are. You are still standing. You are still breathing. You are still capable of loving, hoping, and believing. That alone is proof that your spirit is far stronger than you ever imagined. The universe has been watching every step you have taken. It has seen the battles you fought in silence. It has seen the tears you wiped away before anyone noticed. It has seen the prayers you whispered when nobody else could hear your voice. None of those moments were forgotten. Every act of patience, every choice to forgive instead of becoming bitter, every decision to keep moving forward instead of giving up has created a new path that is beginning to unfold before you now. My beloved soul, someone connected to your destiny is feeling a change. They cannot explain. They may suddenly find themselves wondering how you are. They may begin remembering conversations they once ignored. They may replay moments that seemed ordinary at the time but now feel priceless. Your kindness, your loyalty, your quiet strength are returning to their heart like echoes that refuse to disappear. They are beginning to understand that genuine connections are rare. They are realizing that people who truly care are not easily replaced. This realization is arriving not because you forced it, but because truth has its own perfect timing. Truth never rushes, yet it never fails to arrive. Listen closely, because your heart deserves peace more than uncertainty. Do not allow fear to convince you that every delay is rejection. Sometimes life pauses a blessing because both people need to grow before they can protect what they have been given. Imagine receiving something beautiful before you were ready to keep it. Sometimes what feels like waiting is actually preparation. You have been preparing your heart without even realizing it. You have learned to recognize your own value. You have learned that your happiness cannot depend entirely on another person's choices. You have learned that love should add peace to your life, not constantly steal it. Those lessons were never meant to punish you. They were meant to protect you. My beloved soul, tonight carries an energy of renewal. Whether you notice it through a dream, an unexpected message, a surprising conversation, or simply an unexplainable feeling of calm, allow yourself to receive it. Not every miracle arrives with loud celebrations. Some miracles arrive as quiet confidence. Some arrive as a burden suddenly leaving your heart. Some arrive as the courage to stop chasing what refuses to stay. And sometimes the greatest miracle is discovering that what is meant for you has been making its way toward you all along. If your heart has been asking whether love still remembers your name, the answer is yes. If you have been wondering whether hope still has a place in your future, the answer is yes. If you have been asking whether your story still has beautiful chapters ahead, the answer is yes. Do not let yesterday's disappointments write tomorrow's ending. The pages ahead have not been written yet, and they carry possibilities greater than your fears can imagine. My beloved soul, promise yourself something tonight. Promise that you will no longer speak to yourself through the language of doubt. Speak to yourself with the same kindness you once offered others. Celebrate the progress you have made. Honor the strength that carried you through difficult seasons. Believe that your life is worthy of joy. Not someday, but beginning now. The universe responds differently when your heart chooses faith instead of fear. Doors that seemed impossible begin to open. Answers begin to appear. The weight you carried for so long begins to feel lighter because you are no longer carrying it alone. There are unseen forces working in ways you cannot measure, arranging encounters, creating opportunities, and preparing moments that will make sense only when they finally arrive. Until then, keep your heart open, but protect your peace. Keep your hope alive, but never lose your self-respect. Love should never require you to abandon who you are. The right connection will recognize your value without asking you to prove it over and over again. And when that moment comes, you will realize that everything you endured was shaping you into someone capable of receiving a deeper, healthier, and more meaningful kind of love. So, as this night continues, breathe deeply and let go of what no longer belongs in your heart. Release the fear that you are too late. Release the belief that you have been forgotten. Release the stories your pain tried to convince you were true. Replace them with a quieter truth: you are growing, you are healing, and your journey is still unfolding. Tonight's surprise is not only about what may happen around you. It is also about what has awakened within you. A stronger heart. A clearer mind. a calmer spirit, a brighter future waiting just beyond. This season. Hold on to that truth, my beloved soul, because the next chapter of your story will not be written by fear. It will be written by courage, hope, patience, and the quiet certainty that what is truly meant for you will always find its way home. My beloved soul, if you have stayed with this message until now, then perhaps your heart already knows that this is where everything begins to change. Not because life suddenly becomes perfect, not because every question receives an immediate answer, but because something inside you has awakened. The fear that once controlled your thoughts no longer has the same power. The sadness that once felt endless is slowly giving way to peace. The uncertainty that once kept you awake at night is being replaced by a quiet confidence that your story is still unfolding exactly as it should. Tonight's surprise was never only about another person. It was also about you discovering the strength that has always lived inside your soul. There was a time when you believed that your happiness depended on someone else's decision. There was a time when you waited for validation, for reassurance, for a sign that you mattered. But now the universe is reminding you of something much greater. Your value has never depended on whether someone recognized it. Your light has never disappeared simply because someone failed to see it. You have always been enough. You have always been worthy of genuine love, genuine respect, and genuine peace. My beloved soul, somewhere tonight a chapter is quietly closing. A chapter filled with confusion, sleepless nights, unanswered questions, and painful silence is reaching its end. The lessons have been learned. The tears have watered the ground where new blessings are about to grow. The waiting has shaped your character instead of destroying it. Every disappointment has quietly built the wisdom you now carry within you. Even the moments you wished had never happened were preparing you for a future that requires a stronger, wiser, and more peaceful version of yourself. And now that version is finally here. Perhaps someone connected to your heart is beginning to realize what they almost lost. Perhaps they are finally understanding that real love cannot be replaced by temporary distractions. Perhaps they are finding themselves unable to silence the memories that keep returning. But whether they arrive tomorrow, next week, or much later, remember this truth above everything else: you are no longer waiting because you are incomplete. You are waiting because you know that anything truly meant for you will arrive with honesty instead of confusion, with effort instead of excuses, and with consistency instead of uncertainty. That is the difference between the old version of you and the person you have become. You no longer chase. You attract. You no longer beg. You believe. You no longer fear losing what belongs to you because you understand that destiny does not need to be forced. My beloved soul, look back for just a moment. Think about the person you were before this journey began. Think about the fears you carried, the doubts that filled your mind, the nights you cried believing nobody understood your heart. Now look at who you are today. You have survived every storm that once convinced you it would destroy you. You found courage when you believed you had none left. You kept moving even when every step felt heavy. That is not weakness. That is extraordinary strength. Never forget that. Never allow anyone to make you question the beauty of the heart that refused to become bitter. The universe treasures hearts like yours because they continue choosing kindness even after experiencing pain. My beloved soul, there will come a day very soon when everything that once confused you begins to make perfect sense. You will understand why certain people had to leave. You will understand why certain doors remained closed. You will understand why some prayers seemed delayed. And when that day comes, you will smile through grateful tears because you will realize that every delay was quietly protecting you from something that was never truly yours while guiding you towards something far better than you imagined. That is the miracle hidden inside tonight's surprise. It is not simply about receiving what you wanted. It is about receiving what your soul has always needed. So promise yourself one final thing before this message ends. Promise that you will wake up tomorrow with hope instead of fear. Promise that you will speak kindly to yourself. Promise that you will protect your peace with the same dedication that you once protected everyone else's happiness. Promise that you will never again believe the lie that you are difficult to love. You are not difficult to love. You were simply waiting for love that knew how to stay. You were waiting for honesty that did not disappear when life became complicated. You were waiting for a connection that honored your heart instead of testing its limits. And whether that blessing arrives through someone returning with genuine change or through someone completely new entering your life, trust that the universe already knows the path. You do not need to control every step. You only need to keep your heart open, your faith alive, and your spirit at peace. My beloved soul, as this message comes to its final words, close your eyes for just a moment and breathe deeply. Release every fear that has followed you. Release every painful memory that still asks for your attention. Release every belief that tells you your best days are behind you. They are not. Your best days are still waiting to meet you. The love meant for your heart is still making its way toward you. The joy you have been searching for is already searching for you. And the surprise that began tonight is only the beginning of a much greater story. Walk forward with courage. Walk forward with gratitude. Walk forward knowing that no matter how long the night once felt, the morning always arrives. And when you finally look back on this season of your life, you will not remember it only for the tears you shed. You will remember it as the season that transformed you into the person you were always meant to become. Until then, keep believing, keep growing, keep loving yourself, and keep trusting that the universe has never forgotten your name. Your journey is not ending here, my beloved soul. It is only just beginning.